It's because of the cache, right? It's music to my ears, and I bet it is to yours. How many times have you heard the word cache when it comes to changing anything on your website, when it comes to launching a new website? Cache, it's always the problem. And today I just wanted to maybe invite you to our perspective on cache as an agency, because you are a marketer, so you're on the receiving end, and cache can play tricks on both of us. So the more we sort of recognize that, frivolous enemy, or can we call it enemy really? I mean, it has two sides to the coins, but overall, it's some kind of inconvenience that surfaces from time to time. Most of the time it's good, sometimes it causes conflict, this tug of war that's typically around it. But for now, I just wanted to clear the air up a bit and see where we end up. Again, just like a typical exploration video with Thomas, we'll see what's going to hit us. So if you're brave enough, stick around and let's do it. It makes sense to explain what is cache, right? For the browser or a computer to remember things, so they don't have to download it over and over again every time they see it. They just keep it in their memory, saves resources, saves your bandwidth, and keeps the application, website, whatever, fast, nice, responsive. That's great, okay? But sometimes it gets in the way. What I really want to tell you is that cache is legit. It has its purpose. You have to have cache if you want to have highly performing website application, and if you want people to have generally good experience with the website. So don't go down the route where you just disable all the caching that's possible just to not have that little inconvenience when you make the next website change. It's legit. It's there for a reason, and actually it helps with the security, helps with performance, optimizes the hell out of your website, so it serves you good. But there is just a way that we can tame it and learn to work with it, and I will explain that in a second. Let's go through the types of caching. Yes, there are types of caching, and those types break down into smaller types, so you are welcome. First of all, browser cache. That is your computer, your laptop through which you are watching this very much video, and I bet the browser of yours have already cached this video in a way, or YouTube have placed some kind of cache on your computer so that you can actually really roam around and enjoy the content without much delay. That is browser cache. It sits on your computer, only yours. It's just you, and you, that's it. Plus, if you switch from Chrome to Firefox, that cache is gone because it just sits in that particular browser brand, name, type, whatever. Firefox would have to build that cache up again from scratch if you launch it and browse something there. Next is server cache. And server cache is backstage kind of cache that just keeps the cogs turning. It really does all the heavy lifting so that your website visitors can have pages loaded instantly. More about it in a second, but without going into much technical detail, you have to know it's there. It serves all the assets for the website to load, such as CSS files, so the styles, the colors, fonts, etc. HTML, so the website actually doesn't look like it's our friend, okay? It loves you, so just keep it there. Not that you have a choice really. Final one, and this is big. So you have network cache or networking cache. Not twerking, it's network. There is your own network cache. That is your machine, your operating system, your Windows or OS X, that's Mac for people not that techie. It has its own network cache stored on your disk drive. There's also network cache on your router, that's your local network in your office or in your home. But there's also external type of network cache called, for example, Content Delivery Network, or simpler CDN, that is completely out of your control, so just accept it. So with all those types of cache ahead of you, how one can find the problem and actually see through it to apply any kind of change to the website and avoid having that typical back and forth, hey, I can't see it my end. Well, I do see it my end. Well, that's your problem. That's my problem. It's cache, okay? Take it easy and let's take a look what we can do about those particular types of caches before you go blades on with the agency, because it's not always their fault. Browser cache is probably the easiest to fix because it is in your control 100%. In your browser, you can use incognito mode, that is Ctrl-Shift-N for Windows, Command-Shift-N for Mac, to open an incognito mode. Cache is not being stored there, nor cookies, nothing, no browsing history, nothing at all. It's like a blank slate for one-off session. So hit up the shortcut or click file or whatever just to open the private mode and open the website there, see if you can see the change. If you can, that means you've been a victim of browser cache. Woo, scary. Next thing you can do, you can clear your browser data. Depending on your browser, you can go to settings, clear privacy data. It will remove all the history, or I think you can personalize it, what it chooses to delete or not. But anyway, it will remove all the cookies, all the sessions, all the styling, all the caches, everything that's been there stored so that you can browse the internet more efficiently. It will get rid of it. And so the website will reload from scratch, and therefore there's big chance that you will see the change that you are looking for. And finally, this is quite hacky, okay? So stay with me. You see your browser URL, it just probably says the domain of your website, like whatever.com. Try adding an argument to that URL. But how does it look? Well, let me tell you, okay? So you just click that browser bar, put your pointer at the end of the domain, type in question mark, and then whatever. It can be whatever, not necessarily the word for whatever, but you can go for whatever, or whatever. I don't mind. Whatever you type in there, it means to the browser as if it was a brand new page to load. It's not cached anymore, you see? Even though it reloads the page and it's the same page that you just looked at, to the browser, it's not. It's a brand new request, it's a URL, the link that it hasn't seen before, so it will load the page from ground up. So if you do all of those three things, there's no chance you see a cached version of a website. I wouldn't know where to start if you did. Second one, server caching. Well, how can I put it? It depends. My favorite, well, because it really depends on who you are hosting your website with. You might be in luck that your server is quite bespoke, it's managed by your tech team, which in that case you can just talk to them to clear that server cache. Or if you use platforms like we do, for example, WP Engine, they have this huge purple button in their dashboard which says Purge Server Cache. You click that, wait 5 minutes, done. But there's no real way from your laptop, your computer, to simply go in and clear that cache without extra help, be that a tool in the control panel, be that your IT team, whoever that is, they need to do it for you. Okay, so this one is a bit more tricky, but with a little effort, you can do it. I believe in you. And final one, oh my God, this is cute. This network caching is just terrible. So you have your own computer network caching, okay? Operating system network caching. So there are commands that you can use, you can type in and feel like a little, hacker, I don't know, from Mr. Robot, or if you watched it, then you just type in flush DNS or something like that, and it just clears the cache for you. I highly recommend that if you're into that kind of kinky stuff, just go into Google, type in your operating system, how to clear network cache, and you will probably find the command that you can just copy and paste into terminal. And if you haven't run away in fear yet, then please listen to me. I'll have more scary things ahead. Then we have local network cache, which I explained just a second ago. It's your router, can be in the office, can be at home. I guess best way to get rid of it is just to restart router. You can log into your router via browser. There's probably some kind of IP that you can use to log into it, like 192.0.0.1, but that's just boring stuff. You know what? Just do the typical IT help ask and hit that reset button at the back of it, not the factory reset, right? I just mean like power it off and power it on. Yeah, just so it's clear, don't reset it, because you might just blame me for the lack of internet for another week. So just keep it like that. On, off and on, and it should be gone. That rhymed. And then finally, if nothing helped, then you are likely the victim of the most vicious networking cache called external cache, advanced cache, I don't know how we call it, but what I mean is CDN. And CDN, if you don't know, it's a way to distribute your website around the globe using different servers placed all over the world. Okay, so someone from Brazil, when they connect to your website, say that sits in London, they don't actually connect to London, they connect to, I don't know, Rio de Janeiro, because one of the servers in Rio de Janeiro has a copy of your London-based website, but the distance between the user and Rio de Janeiro is much smaller than if it was loading the page from London, so that it loads instantly as if that guy was in London. Does it make sense? A lot of you know hopping around the world with me today. Hey, Travels with Thomas. But that's all you need to know. CDN, Content Delivery Network, it delivers that content around the world to different servers so that people can easily and quickly load your website without being close to the source of it. And guess what? It's completely out of your control. You can kindly ask them, the provider, such as Cloudflare, for example, to clear that cache because you've made a typo and you need to quickly reflect it on your website. Otherwise, you're gonna lose a business. Well, guess what? They don't care. So you have to wait. You're at their mercy. It might take 5 minutes, might take 2 days, because there is a queue of people that requested the same thing as you, and there's only so much resources that they have at their disposal to actually action your request. So there is that. But again, this one is absolutely vicious, merciless, and we've been a victim of it many, many times. So keep an eye on it. If all else fails, that's where the problem is. Well, next time your agency says, well, because it's cash, they probably mean it. So don't be mean to them. Maybe if you were trying to be, I don't know. Nah, marketers bunch are fun, don't worry about it. I'm just kidding, you know, I'm pulling your leg, which I learned not that long ago. I'm not British, you can tell. But that's all about cash. And if you still have any questions, do let me know. But what I'm more interested in is to hear your funny stories, or maybe not so funny back then when they actually were happening, that related to cash. What kind of troubles you got yourself into because of the cash? Do let me know in the comments. But for now, thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.